CNC routers are more accessible now than ever before. When you buy a CNC, everyone talks about the bits, software, and speeds. But nobody warns you about the first thing you'll deal with. Realizing your machine doesn't even come with a table. So instead of building the table by hand and doing all the work myself, I figured, why not let the CNC build the table? Let's get right into it. This machine right here is the Shapeoko 5 Pro. It is my newest addition to my line of CNCs I have. I believe this is my 9th CNC, and like many other CNCs, it doesn't come with a table, or the table is an additional upgrade. I want to figure out a solution where I can have this CNC that is sitting on the ground actually build the table for me, and so that's what we're going to do today. So here are the few challenges that I think we're about to run into. One, I've never ran this machine before. So this will be the very, very first cut in the machine. The second thing that we're gonna run into is that the table needs to be pretty big because the outside to outside of this frame is about 5 foot. But the cutting area of this CNC is 4 foot by 4 foot. So therein lies problem number one. Our constraint is a 4x4 cutting table, right? So that's constraint number one. Constraint number two that we're gonna have, I personally want it to be 100% CNC cut, which means no screws. And so let's see if we can figure this out. So we have our parameters set. Now the first thing I process and think about is the legs. So literally as I was pondering this, I was like this, right? And I was like, well, what if I just make the legs fit together like that, right? And the CNC can do that. And so what I'm gonna do for the legs is I'm going to kind of make it like a box joint or a finger joint. And this is the other piece. And they're just gonna fit together. And then if you turn that, then you have a cornered leg, which a CNC can easily do. Now the next thing, as I'm pondering on this, is once again, you have to think about how that side is gonna connect to that leg. And typically, you see the leg like this, right? So typically on a frame, right, you have your tabletop, and the leg is this part right here. How is the brace piece going to connect to that leg? It's gonna be really, really hard. So what I think we're gonna have to do is I think we're gonna have to take the leg and actually do it this way. Okay, then we can have a side piece and it actually comes in and kind of hooks to that leg, whether it sticks out a little bit or not. So now that we have this initial design, the parameters we're gonna go off of, let's go get to programming.
Okay, so we have our 4 foot by 4 foot sheet right here. Next, I need to make the legs. And so I know I want the legs roughly 6 inches wide and 35 inches tall. So best case scenario, what I've kind of figured out is to do a box joint where both of these will just kind of fit into each other and overlap. And so I'm gonna go through here and make some rectangles where these two will overlap. So now that I have my rectangles, I'm just going to stack them on top of each other real quick. All right, so I have all of my rectangles stacked on top of each other. I'm gonna take them and just shift them a little bit to the outside right here, because this is a cool trick that Kyle Ellie showed me with Learn Your CNC. If you wanna learn more about that, check the link in the description. But I'm gonna take the snipping tool and I'm going to snip every other section now. And now we kind of made this sawtooth looking thing. So now we should have a leg that's going to fit together just like that whenever we cut it out. Now I do have to go back in here and quickly put some dog bones because I will be cutting this out with a 1/4 inch bit. The next thing I have to do is figure out how to attach these sides to the legs. So I think what I'm gonna do is just like we did on here, where this box joint kind of falls right in there and attaches just like that. So let me modify the leg real quick and modify the side and show you what that looks like. And this side is gonna slip right into that leg just like we were talking about. And I'm also gonna add another one down towards the bottom because I want a shelf underneath, and so we're gonna put another side right here. That way we have a shelf underneath the table. The next thing we have is this cross brace we're gonna need to make the table more stable. And so what we're looking at is a piece that's gonna be longer than 48 inches or right at 48 inches to make this cross brace. So what I decided to do is we're actually going to make everything just a little bit smaller and bring in the whole entire table like this way that cross brace can actually fit on all of the pieces that we need. And so this cross brace, I'm just gonna have it hook right here on the side and have a little notch cut in it. So let me show you that. Okay, we just made our cross section that's going to be going and connecting to these side pieces right here. And then I put an additional notch in the side piece right here in the center so this cross section can slide down over it. Now, let's nest it and see if it fits on this 4x4 sheet. All right, guys, I was able to nest 2 legs and 4 of the 8 sides we need because we do have that underneath shelf and 1 cross brace. So all I have to do now is I'll just cut out 2 of these on a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of plywood and see if they all fit. Let's go back to the CNC and get to cutting.
All right, we got it programmed up, we got it designed. Let's grab the material and get to cutting. So I'm just gonna use some basic Baltic birch that we got in, or European birch, slightly different. Got it. Woo! My gosh, that was so heavy. All right, so I got the plywood on here, but I did just remember there is not very much room for T-slots. So what I'm gonna have to pivot to is I'm gonna have the CNC mark different holes so I can actually just screw this material down to this table, and that way I know the bit's not gonna hit it and we don't mess up any kind of T-slots or anything like that we got. So I'm gonna block up this side right here with some random pieces of oak, because this is 2 inches tall right here. And so I'm just gonna block it up so everything kind of sits flat. Go from there. So now everything's kind of sitting flat. And if you're getting value from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave it a comment in the comment section below if you've had similar table troubles with your CNC. Let's go. 2 foot up, 2 foot over. So there's my center point. All right, first thing. What's really cool about this, watch, you turn it on and this thing's gonna light up. Well, maybe not. Who would put it there? Yeah, wrong hole. Oops. All right. Take 2. Ah, there we go. Glorious. So I'm gonna home my machine. It's alive! It's alive! I love it. All right, so we got it homed. I'm gonna quickly change out this bit right here to an 1/8 inch collet. And this is an ER11 collet on this spindle. I liked it because I wanted a 110 spindle. I didn't want a 220, so I can just run it off of random extension cords. And so to drill these holes, I'm gonna use an 1/8 inch upcut. The 1/8 inch upcut that I'm using currently is an 1/8 inch upcut rougher. This is the Baby Boy that CIC Workshop just came out with. And so it's gonna be good for drilling holes, good for cutting stuff really fast. So here it is, here it goes. I'm gonna jog it around and set my Z0 and XY0. There. Oh, this is the only time I can lay down on the job. This is great. And the one thing, like the Shapeoko, what it does whenever you set your Z0s and stuff, it comes and touches off on this tool probe, and all it's doing is making sure you don't break your machine. And so if you're a CNC beginner and you want something as simple as possible so you don't break a lot of stuff. Shapeoko is good for that. Like, it's really good for that. Let's drill some holes and mark some holes, baby. I guess this is the first time I'm ever actually running it, so. Screw this together. Now, I don't have a lot of places to hold this down, so that's probably one flaw in this design, but I do think it'll be enough. All right, that's really all that's gonna be holding it down. Is it optimum? No. Should I redesign the frame? Probably. Am I? No. So let's change out bits and get to cutting. So there's a load new tool button on Carbide Motion, and I think it brings it up to the front. It asked me to put a new tool in, so I'm gonna put the new tool in, and I think it's gonna go touch off, and then I don't have to Z-height it, which is kind of cool. Saves you an extra step. So the bit we're using today is gonna be a Golden Girl rougher down cut, and I'm using this because I want the down cut feature, because I don't have a lot of tabs in place, so these pieces are gonna wanna move, and that down cut is gonna keep chips in the trenches and not allow anything to move. And because it's a rougher, I know for sure it can cut all the way through this 3/4 Baltic at decently high speeds, so we don't sit here forever. So Golden Girl rougher is in, and it should work. All right, we got our Golden Girl bit in, everything's programmed up. We're gonna be running it at 125 inches a minute, going about a 1/4 inch deep per pass, and let's see what happens. Is he gonna hit that? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Holy cow! That was not planned. You ain't cutting it close, you ain't cutting it right. The cutting went good, everything cut out great. We had minimal movement in these parts right here because they weren't tabbed together, but there's at least enough sawdust in this to keep this stuff from popping off. So with that being said, let's see how these legs fit together real quick. So like I said, we have that action right here of, you know, them kind of fitting together. So this should just kind of squeeze in there, which it does, and then we just turn it. Wow, that was not staged, but that went together super well. So our legs went together really, really well, and it does help I have a lot of years of experience programming, but legs went together super well. And then let's see if our side brace fits on our leg. Boom. So it fits. So our parameters for this 0.71 inch thick plywood or 0.705 inch thick plywood all work. And we know everything's gonna fit. Obviously I can't assemble the whole thing. So I'm gonna just scoot this sheet forward, screw it back down, and run the exact same programs. That's exciting, man. And then this CNC would cut out its own table. Like, that's awesome. Let's do it, let's go. All right. And as I put this 1/8 inch baby boy back in, let me know in the comments if you have a Shapeoko, what are the pros and cons of it, what do you like, don't like, and that way I can learn as well as others can learn from y'all guys. So leave that in the comments below. All right, let's run the same program, and it took about 35 minutes. as I'm saying this, all you need in your garage is one of these and a CNC, and you can make anything. AKA every YouTuber ever. Like butter, baby! You know. All right. Let's put this thing together. 2 leg pieces, and these just, like I said, fit together and kind of go together like that. And I'm just gonna do a dry fit. This fits just like that. Kind of a cool joint, to be honest, on a CNC. That, you know, it's like a long box joint, but it really works well. Now, obviously, I could shoot a screw right here, but if I'm just putting glue, I'm pretty sure that joint is gonna do just fine. And you can see where I did that tiny dog bone right here. And so that dog bone really helps. Right there. All right, okay, and if all goes well, we should take this frame piece right here. Boom. Take another leg, stick it in right here. And we have one side complete. Now we just do the other side. All right, so then we have 2 sides. It's gonna go like that. Once again, I'm just dry fitting this just for video's sake. Then we're gonna put this side in, and remember this side has that cross brace. And why we wanted that cross brace was for stability purposes. Right there. Bring this side in. Yeah. This other piece comes right here. Snaps in on this side. This next one now, depending on where I put this, I can put this next cross brace on the same side, or I can put it on this side so we have 2 different braces going with it. But then you have like 2 different little pieces sticking out, so I don't really know which one. We're just gonna do it this way. That way we at least have a little bit of an X brace going. And this should square up. All right, now this, ow, my knees are killing me. Now this one should go across and lock everything in like that. And then this one should now go across. Come on, baby. And lock everything in. And boom! That's awesome! Now, this is dry fit, so, you know, I would need to go back through there. You know, I could put a screw, but honestly, just a little bit of glue and all of this stuff would hold together. You could put a screw right here, or just put a little bit of glue. But if I go back and do some Craig jig fasteners right there, and actually connect the piece of plywood to the top of it, then this thing would really stabilize up. Let me go grab a 5x5 sheet of plywood, and we're just gonna throw that on top of here real quick. My videographer gets to watch me struggle again. Now this should technically go right on there, and should be able to hop on. Now, it's a little wobbly, but once again, I think when I put glue all of that stuff and screw it together, it's going to be really solid. If y'all guys want to see me take this a step further and try to really optimize it, not for a 4x4 CNC, but on one of my larger CNCs, so I can maybe bring this to production to the whole CNC community, and it can be a fully collapsible, flat packed wooden CNC table. I would love to hear y'all's feedback on it or any changes or additions I should make on this. But let me put the CNC on it and just see how it looks. Carry it right here. So those of you guys who've been watching the channel for a long time, been a long time subscriber, Brian is back. He is back in action, and he's young and he's strong.
Ready to mingle? Also,
he's single, ready to mingle.
Yeah.
Any of the ladies out there who are about 8% of this channel viewership, if
we'll flash his phone number.
yeah, we'll flash his phone number right now. There you go. And but wait, there's more. He'll also pay for your dinner. I know how much he makes. He can afford it.
I don't know about that.
All right, so this CNC has got to go on that. Ready? Go! All right. Boom! Boom, baby! Brian, you gotta say boom.
Boom! Chakalaka.
Baby, let's go! I mean, that is beautiful. Put some boards right here on this back shelf. If you come back over here, Steve, what we'll probably do is this VFD drive right here, we'll probably mount it. So like right there. That way it's underneath the table, free of danger. All that good stuff. Same thing with this electrical box. We'll put that underneath, mount it right here. And we just had the Shapeoko 5 Pro cut out its very own table. That was cool. Once again, guys, let me know if you like this type of stuff. Let me know how I can improve this. And if you want this kind of table to come to the mass market, I would gladly design it, but cut it on my much bigger CNCs over there and see if I can make it happen. So Brian, get in here and help me do the outro. Don't mess it up. So I hope you left this video with more knowledge than when you started. And as always, guys, remember, if you ain't cutting it close,
You ain't cutting it right.